Well, hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. It is Conor here. We are back with the first live of Battle Lines in a long time. Listen, we've got close. Me and Jimmy have got close, which basically means that for the past month, I have been stuck with this man in a studio setting for probably 2 or 3 times, I think, which is all your fault for enjoying it, by the way. But we are back on live, and thank God I've got a little bit of help for this one. Only joking, of course. Jimmy is an absolute credit to this channel. Make sure you're checking out Blaze Ramble. Make sure you're checking out Joe at Turfcast Podcast. I'm sure you've seen him on the airwaves, on the One Leeds airwaves as well, everybody. And please make sure you're slapping a like on the video. It's thank God the calendar is done now. We are back with Championship football. Without any further ado, I'm introducing the two people who are on the show this evening. First of all, I'll come to Joe. How you doing, mate? All right?
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. How are you?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Thank God we're back. We're off with international football. Jim Bob, did you watch England versus Latvia?
No, can't be doing with it. International football's useless. Give me club football any day. Not interested in Thomas Tuchel's England. Thank you very much. Chrissy Wilder's Red and White Wizards are the only ones I'm bothered about. Thank you.
That's it, mate. Are you connected, by the way? Is your mic connected? What do you reckon, Joe? Is it off? Or is
no,
it
it's
off?
Definitely not connected. That's going through his computer audio 100%.
There we go. No, you are.
I'm back.
There he is. There he is.
Jesus Christ, Jim Bob.
Honestly, well, you guys know about it because I've been voice noting you about it. My head is fried from all this.
Is it still fried?
Honestly, mate. Right. So for the viewers, we have obviously been getting together recently. These two lads who are very efficient in tech and stuff like that. Connor's learned it. Joe does it for a living. So you've been doing it a long time, Connor. They were encouraging me to upgrade my setup, which I have done, and I have fried my head basically in terms of I can't do it. So I'm trying.
The voice notes that I was sending back. Try my best not to be patronising.
Like, I saw that. Which is the most patronising line you can start with. So anyway, that's by the by. But yes, so stick with it, Blades Ramblers. We will get there, but it might be a little bit of a slow process. If some audio's up and down or some videos are not the best quality, then blame these two because they're trying to help me along with upgrading, and it's just not going to plan at all at the minute. So
yeah, he's like a school kid at the minute, so it's nice getting him through it. Andy says it's becoming a bit of a nail biter. Who would have guessed with Leeds United? Prabhu says, is this still live? It definitely is, mate. Ev says, evening everyone. Ev says, evening everyone. Jesus. Huge game for Blades Friday. Still wondering if I'd take... Oh, Ev, don't worry,
no,
mate.
Ev.
You know, it's a tough one for them, isn't it? We'll start off with obviously the Blades. Well, they're at home, to be fair to them, which is obviously, I think Burnley have still got to go to Carvante, Joe. So, Joe, first of all, mate, what do you think? We've been speaking about it quite a bit during the international break. It's a tough game for him to come back to, isn't it?
It is. What did we predict? I think we predicted a draw, 1-1. Not sure how much that is wishful thinking. Or
when you say you mean you two.
You predict Sheffield United to win every single game between now and the end of the season. So
not every game. We might draw
lost one game. I think it at the turf. Yeah,
I think we saw you dropping points. Every time we saw you dropping points, you were not happy.
2-1 every time. Ridiculous.
Never is. But I just think they managed to. Sorry, Conor, go on.
No, I'll say just for a point of reference, I did say you'd win 1-0, but go on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, to be fair, that's right. I said 1-1. I think you two said 1-0, didn't you, to be fair? But yeah, like I said, I think that's probably more wishful thinking. Coventry a good side, to be fair. And I say that with bated breath because obviously we've got to go to Coventry the week after. But I'm just hoping that and praying really that because we need you two to drop points. I saw a comment earlier like whose bums are squeakiest. My bum ain't squeaking at all because we need to catch you yet. But I know that you two obviously will be feeling different and it's a bit more nervy to be at the top. So, yes, it's tough for Blades. It really is. But you just know they're going to get battered for 85 minutes and win 1-0.
You hate it, don't you? You hate it.
You know what? With Leeds, I look at them and I think, yeah, good side. They're playing well. They deserve to be there. So when they turn somebody over 3-0, it's just like, yeah, fair enough. They deserved it. But when you just do nothing for 85 minutes and win 1-0, it's the most infuriating thing in the world.
When Connor's seen as the more reasonable one going against Sheffield United, you know you are on one about the Blades. I had so many comments. Joe hates us. What have we done to Joe? What have we done to upset Joe? Don't know. It's just one of them, unfortunately.
I just think you've been lucky this year to be where you are in the league. That's all.
Lucky after 38 games. Absolutely ludicrous shout. We're top of the league, by the way. We've won the most points in this league.
No, you're not.
This is the thing. You've got to calm down because you get into what you get like. You got to calm down a little bit.
I defend my club. I love my club, and we have performed. Tell me when I'm telling lies. We have won the most points. You just
said you're top of the league. You're not.
We have won the most points this season.
Jim, are you top of the league? Yes or no?
We gave you an 8-point head start.
Jim, are you top of the league? Yes or no?
Joint top, yeah.
But you're not top, are you?
Well, we should be.
Jim, you're not top of the league, are you?
It's like being at home.
Right. Anyway, Joe's in the building. Evening, gents. Dare I say, if we win Friday night, I could see us going on a run and opening the gap before they burn the game, but I could see a draw Friday night. I'll take Sheffield United 1-0. Tyrese Campbell. Sam says Leeds need to be calm. Yes, we have dropped points recently, but West Bromwich Albion are a playoff team. Pompey and QPR are historically tough places to go, and have given Sheffield and Burnley tough games this year. So let's get into it, because obviously, people are genuinely coming here for some degree of football insight, which is a bit of a worry. But
no idea why they're doing.
Yeah, it does feel like a bit of it's one of the toughest games going into the last 8, Jim Bob. Do you think it is aside from Burnley, obviously on game week 44, do you think this is your toughest game to go?
Yeah, it is, yeah, undoubtedly. I'm pleased that we're going first. We get to set the tone. I think it's going to help us this time. There's pros and cons to going first and pros and cons to going last, I think, as well, because we are last in a couple of games coming up against the same game week as you two boys. But I think if we know that we'll not only go top at league, we will go 5 points clear of third place. They've got to play Bristol City, who are a tough side. And then they've got to go to Coventry the following week. So we put ourselves in a brilliant position if we can get a result here. And I fancy us. I think we're strong enough to do it. Depends on fitness issues at players, which we won't know until obviously crunch time, because there's been a few doubts and a few knocks in the side. But I think we've got enough. It's a huge game.
Yeah, it does feel like it. It does feel like it's a big game, and I don't know. It feels like I don't know. I think this is probably an opportunity for us to extend the gap a little bit. I know that's how Leeds fans are looking at it. If both of you drop points, and obviously we beat Swansea, which is obviously with Leeds not been exhilarating.
It's an easy game. You'll win that one.
Yeah. Oh, you're kidding?
You're going to say it's no easy game. That's an easy game. You'll win that one.
This isn't the Conor McGilligan channel. This is one Leeds. There's no Swansea fans here.
There is.
All right, okay. Fair enough.
But it's tempting fate, isn't it? I am very much like.
Please do.
I'm exactly.
We'll do it if you don't.
I know you will.
You're going to smash him.
I'm hoping it's going to be I'm hoping it's going to be. Listen, I see myself as quite a realist, Jim Bob. Not to say you're going to win every week. It's
just negative. I agree with Leeds fans who think you're negative.
I think you're negative. I think you're negative about Leeds.
Never. Just realistic, pal.
So yeah, I think it's a big game for us. I think it's a good game week for us as well with you two. I kind of look at Burnley. I know, Jimmy, you're a little bit more. I think they'll drop points for this one. I think they'll get through this one, Burnley. I think they
have a big chance of dropping points. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I think people are underestimating Bristol City. They are on the cusp of the playoffs. They need to win most of their remaining games. They're in as much of a fight as we are to get automatic. Don't underestimate them by any means. They're a really good side.
Yeah, it's not. I think it's not underestimating. It's kind of looking at Burnley and thinking at this moment in time, there's not many chinks in their armor. I mean, recently, what's it been? It's been probably West Bromwich Albion, similar to us.
Their own record's not great.
Their
own record's not great. And if it's as tough a game as it was against West Brom, which I think they're on the same points out there as West Brom, then I'd take a draw. I'd take a 1 apiece or a 0-0, which it probably will be knowing Burnley. So, yes, thank you, and we'll be very happy with that.
Do you not see this as a game? I mean, are you going into it a little bit more confident with the recent run of form, Joe? I think you probably should be, shouldn't you?
I am, yeah. I think I said to you on one of the shows we did recently where we met up in Manchester that I do think we'll beat Bristol City. I just think we have enough. Like, yeah, it's one of them games where 10, 15 games ago, before the introduction of Marcus Edwards and before, we'd started to put the ball in the back of the net, then I'd agree with Jimmy. It probably, would have been 1-0 at best for us at very best, and potentially 0-0, similar to the Leeds game where we didn't really do anything in that second half. Well, no one did really, to be fair. But I agree with you, Conor. I just feel like we have enough to get past Bristol City. It's the Coventry game that I worry about. But I know I said recently that that's kind of the game that Burnley can sometimes win, like they won at both Ellen Road and Bramall Lane this season, doing to you guys what we'll probably try and do to Coventry. I'm not saying we will, but yeah, I just think we have enough to get past Bristol City. But obviously, just going back to what Jimmy said then, say the home record's not great. We haven't lost at home yet this season, but we have drew too many, to be fair. So, but we haven't drawn that many recently. Obviously, West Brom was one, but we have put teams to the sword at home recently. Obviously, Sheffield Wednesday 4-0 and things like that.
I'm all right with that. I'm fine with that.
I'm sure you were.
Yeah, let's get into a few comments. Not sure. Oh God, okay, it's a bit slightly abusive one. Let's keep it chill. Everybody. I just saw Brett
Can I just ask though, Joe? Do you think it makes a difference in the games? And Conor, to be fair, with Leeds, do you think it makes a difference if we get 3 points? Obviously, it makes a huge difference and motivates you. If we don't, I think that's going to be an obvious thing to say. But
yeah, I think
if we
it
get
does.
3 points, does it concern you that we're going first?
Concern, no, but I think if you drop points, for example, it will properly give us confidence. And, yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, it will do that. Like I said recently, didn't I? When I think Burnley and Sheffield United both played on Tuesday night, and we both drew. It's when we drew with West Brom, and you drew with Bristol City, actually.
Yeah.
And then Leeds were playing Millwall. And if we'd have both won and both gone above them, I'm not sure Leeds then go into that match and win it as comfortably as they do, because obviously all the nerves and stuff. So I think it's obviously the same concept here. Now, if you drop points on Friday night, both Burnley and Leeds will be going into the weekend like ridiculously galvanised and looking forward to it and hopefully getting 3 points.
Yeah, I think I've been to and fro in my head, really. The toughest fixtures and the easiest fixtures, really. I do look at Sheffield United's fixtures, and I just think with the momentum they've got, even when it just comes to just edging out games, I don't think it's, as you've said, mate, it's not about them performing well. I've barely seen a game this season where Sheffield United have performed well, but they win games, so it doesn't really mean anything. Like, what does it matter if they don't perform well? Maybe it's going to be a little bit of an omen for the future in terms of performances normally lead to results, especially if you're in the Premier League. But right now, it doesn't matter, does it? Does it? I mean, it just feels like it's edging out results every. I mean, we talk about 1-0 Tyrese Campbell, but I mentioned it, and it's all relative, of course. But I remember back in the day when it was George Graham 1-0 to the Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? You just get the job done. It doesn't really matter. It's like we all go on about these glossy performances, and when it all boils down to it, if Sheffield United get into the top 2, no one's going to care about 1-0 every now and again.
No, they're not.
It's weird. Go on, Jimmy, you go first.
No.
Right. It's weird because with Sheffield United at the start of the season, I was like, yeah, they're not playing well, but they're still winning games. I think they'll go on to win the league. But then they carried on doing that. And then I changed my mind on them, because the reason why I said that at the start of the season is because I'm thinking they'll get better. They'll get better and they'll start playing well and they'll start blowing teams away. That never came. So you've got to look at it now and think, you're probably right, Conor. It's not necessarily something they intend to do, but it's obviously the game plan, isn't it? Stifle the threat, maybe look a little bit fortunate, but then go on to win the game. So it's one of them. I kind of look at it now and think you are right with that. You've got to look at it and think that they're just doing jobs on teams, really, and you've got to respect where they are in the league. But at the same time, you look at it and think, someone missing an open goal 5 minutes before you score, and there is an element of luck to that as well.
Who Jim, as well, just adding on to that, who do you think right now is most vulnerable to maybe a period where they're off it? So you look at Burnley right now.
You're not going to like my answer, mate.
No, I know. But I guess the context is Burnley have got the toughest fixtures, I would say, when you look at it. Like, especially away from home, I think they're tough. I don't think you've got the easiest fixtures. I think we have the easiest fixtures. I think that's backed up by, where each team are in the league. But we've spoken about that. There's always context to that. So, yeah, I mean, you just mentioned it there, but is that...
I think Leeds are most... I think in terms... We've talked about mentality before, and if you take that out of the equation a little bit, because I think it's easy to point at Leeds and say you've fallen apart previously, you will again. Well, this is more or less a different set of players. So I still think you may struggle in that department. But the reason I say I think you're the most vulnerable is because I think you look tired, or you certainly did going into the international break. Whether that's
that could
provided a break for you, I'm not entirely sure. You know, you've had a lot of players on international duty, so maybe not. I just think he's stuck with the same small core. It's very Bielsa-esque in terms, not the way you play, obviously, but in terms of having that small core that he relies on. He's got his favourites as Farker, doesn't rotate much at all. There's been some concerns from the fan base, which I understand, about Nonto and Ramazani not being fit enough to make an impact as the season's gone on and they've got less and less game time, that they can't really make those star cameos that they were doing 5-10 games ago. Even Nonto has gone away with his country, and because he's not match fit, he's come back injured. So that's one less in your armory as well. And I appreciate you've got a strong squad, but Tanaka, for example, has been great all season. Really, really good. You put strong arguments. We've done a lot of stuff, a lot of content together as a three and for other people and other things like that together. And you, as 4 weeks ago, we were in Manchester again doing something else for Green King, and you were saying Tanaka's the best player in the league. Since you've said that, I think he's been, certainly the last couple of games at least, he's been very off the boil. And I think it's because he's tired and he needs a rest and he needs rotating out of the side to just have a breather and come back fit and firing for these last 8 games. But he didn't. He flogged him and he's tried. He's gone with him again because he's the best that you've got. And I understand it. But the fact that you didn't strengthen in January and now you've maxed out, or it looked like you were maxing out in terms of your fitness, I think that might, I'm not saying it will, but I think it could play a factor in this run-in. And we shall see, won't we? Because I think we've all got vulnerabilities, but I think that's a big one that's gone slightly under the radar for Leeds.
Joe?
I think the international break's come at a good time for Leeds. I know Jimmy touched on it there a little bit, but your form wasn't great going into the international break. But I think obviously you've got a very winnable game coming up now. I think the international break, you'll come back refreshed. I know you had a lot of lads away on international duty, but still, I think you've had a time to sort of like regroup, refresh. We were gathering some momentum a little bit as well going into the international break, and I think it came at a bad time for us. I think it's come for a good time for you guys, and I think you're going to come back from the international break with a very winnable game, win that game, and then look to kick on, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, we're talking about tiredness and this, that, and the other. I mean, it's not like it's not like we've not picked up in second halves, and I think that is normally a big factor. I think the thing maybe in the away games has just been the intensity a bit from the start from Leeds. But I think you look at that Millwall game, we got the early goal and then we just battered them in that second half in particular. QPR was a shocking start, really, really poor start. And then in the second half, we grew and grew and grew and got stronger and stronger. And we should have won that game. And I can't believe we didn't, to be honest. It looked after the 50th minute that we'd go and stick 3, 4, maybe 5 past them, but that didn't happen. No, I do wonder if it's going to be, I mean, we've got 5 home games left, 4 home games left. I think we'll win all of them. I think we'll win all the home games. So then it's just a case of, can you pick up that form again away from home? But yeah, I agree with Jim. It's got to be rotated. But I guess so I don't know. I think it kind of works in. I think it kind of swings a little bit as well, because we can talk about Sheffield United as well being lucky. We can talk about Burnley being plucky up front. I think you have been lucky in some games. You have been lucky in some games. You have.
Which games?
Portsmouth at home. You were lucky or not?
Sheffield Wednesday.
Portsmouth at home, we're lucky. Portsmouth at home. I'll give you Portsmouth at home.
You're not bulletproof, mate. You're not a bulletproof team.
No, I'm not saying we are, but I think it's a bit rich when we are technically top of the league in terms of points won. And we have won more points than either team.
Yeah. And
you're saying we're lucky to be there. It's lucky if you go on a 2 or 3 game spell where you definitely don't deserve to.
I didn't say lucky to be there. I
said lucky team.
We've
been lucky.
I said you have been lucky this season in certain fixtures. You have.
Portsmouth.
I'd say Preston, you were lucky to not give away a penalty.
No. Load of rubbish.
Bristol City were arguably the better team against you, were they not?
No. No, they weren't.
Okay, narrative's changed. But
It hasn't. I said they were well worthy of a point. Well worthy of a point.
Mate, if you look at that game, there was an argument they should have won that game. I think that was a general consensus.
An argument from a rival of Sheffield United, I'm sure there is, but nah.
Yeah, right.
White tinted glasses.
Mate, you can't say that.
Blue and yellow. Blue and yellow tinted glasses.
Mate, we're all accepting that there's faults in our team, but you cannot accept.
Of course, there's faults in our team. I talk openly about them. I talk openly about the faults in our team. What? Where? Right back.
Right. So
Centre
okay. So going forward, so you've just mentioned as well that you think regarding Leeds, and I don't think you're wrong, by the way. I don't think you're wrong. I think there's certain things that could be questioned. All I'm saying with my point about Sheffield United is if you've won you've won by 1 goal in 15 games, and I wouldn't say in
it's not luck, is it? It's not luck.
But I'm not saying it's luck, but I'm saying in some of those games, it definitely could have gone the other way. So what I'm saying with 8 games left, if you're putting in those performances again, there is a chance that it swings the other way.
There's a chance in every game it can swing the other way. But would you not also say it's fantastic game management when you can hold on to a lead?
Right. Well, you're saying
15
Leeds.
times.
But you're saying Leeds are tired. But I'm saying to you that in the last 2 games we've got stronger in the second half. So how does that work?
Do you think so how did Bogle play last time out?
It's not about Bogle. You always
how did Tanaka play last time out?
Against Millwall, he was really good.
Well, that last time out.
What? So one game.
Okay. I'm just listen. You don't have to get all defensive about it. I'm just saying your team looked tired. Joe agreed. You said I wasn't wrong, and now you say.
No, I'm agreeing to this. I'm just letting you two have a little argument. I love it. It's just like being in the WhatsApp group all over again.
No, but I was basically trying to say that it can swing both ways as well.
Of course it can. Of course it can.
But it feels very much like all I was saying that luck could swing the other way for Sheffield United as well. It might be you might not be fortuitous against maybe a Pompey or whoever it might be. Maybe
and you've also said that Leeds will win their 4 home games, and it might not work out like that, might it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it can't. That's what I'm saying when we're talking about it going either way. Like there's arguments for both, isn't there? There's arguments that Sheffield United might struggle, and then you look at Burnley, for instance. Are they going to carry on being potent up front against the better teams? All I'm trying to say is there's arguments for, I think, each and every team having sticky patches. I genuinely believe that.
I completely agree with that. I completely agree.
I don't think any of our teams right now are completely bulletproof at all. I think Leeds, maybe 3 weeks ago, we'd have looked at it and I think we'd have stuff together and we'd have all gone, Leeds are probably going to win the league. But now we're looking back at it and going, we had a bit of a...
I don't think we were saying that, do we? I think we were saying champions again, ole, ole. I think that's what we were saying around that time.
Yeah, we were. And you were also saying we'd win the league, mate. So
I still think you will. I think you definitely should. Whether you do or not is a different question, isn't it?
So do you think we'll still win the league or not?
Yeah, I do think you will, yeah.
Right, okay. Joe?
But 50% off now on Sheffield United shirts for a limited time only. So I'll get you whatever size you want, pal.
I agree with that. I do think Leeds still win the league. When you look at all the metrics and stuff, Leeds are the better side. Leeds have achieved, even defensively. I know we've obviously got the better records and stuff, but I think if you put Michael Cooper or James Trafford into your Leeds side, I think that the defence can become a little bit different and some of your stats can become a little bit better defensively. But I still think Leeds win the league, and I think it's between us and Sheffield United for second. I've been saying that for about 2 months now.
Yeah. I'm definitely 100%. I think we're getting into a period right now where it feels like draws. I've said it before, Jim, and I know me and you have said it as well. It feels like draws are turning into losses, mate. That's what it is right now, isn't it? You draw a game, and it's like, especially with the other two, without consistent, and in particular with you two, it's been, you just can't get rid of you at the minute. So, I mean, you've clawed back deficits, haven't you? So draws right now are problematic, and I guess that's, Jim, maybe that's why we're looking at Burnley as well at periods this season, and we've thought draw. That's good.
Burnley are doing my head in. Burnley are doing my head in because they won't go away, and I don't think they will go away either. And it's no longer like the annoying little brother. They are well in this fight, and I'm worried about Burnley, if I'm honest. So I think we have to do our bit. I think Coventry then have to do their bit against Burnley next week. I think Bristol City could do us both a favour this week. Could. I'm not saying they will because it's a tough game. We've got a very tough game. Obviously, we're playing Coventry as well. We need, in my eyes, we need to be 4 points clear of Burnley come that game at the Turf. And if we're not, then I'll be really concerned.
Yeah, I agree with that, because obviously when you look at who you play on the last day of the season, we've got Millwall at home on the last day of the season, and even though they can be a decent side, they'll have nothing to play for then, so that should be a run-of-the-mill victory. But when you look at who Sheffield United have got on the final day of the season, it's Blackburn at home. Obviously, Blackburn will do everything they can to.
I saw that as like a tough game for them, but you two just
no chance. They will put out the red carpet, mate. They'll have red flares in the.
We'll be out with Blackburn fans.
They will genuinely. That will happen. If Sheffield United get promoted in that game, obviously we miss out. The Blackburn fans will be celebrating Sheffield United goals 100%. So we need to be above them or go above them during that game at the Turf if we beat them. And if not, if we end that game behind them, then I think we're out of it.
I agree. I think whoever's above the other come that game, they go up.
Yeah, I agree.
And if we're both above Leeds, more power to it.
Oh, that'll be tasty. It's not going to happen, that is it? Unless there's an absolute collapse, and obviously we know that can happen with Leeds. But looking at,
they're going to win all 4 home games, aren't they? They're going to win all 4 home games.
I saw a comment earlier. When you look at the runnings of all 3 teams, Leeds have got the best, then Blades, and then we've got the hardest, 100%. So it's going to be very tough for us, especially, to overtake Leeds.
Jimmy, you going to lose one more game this season?
Not in, is it?
Yeah, we could, yeah.
No, that's not why I asked. Are you going to or not?
I back us to win every game we're going to, but I think I'm not blind to the fact that we could lose. Of course we can. Right. But we've won more games than anybody else this season, so why shouldn't I be confident? I don't. It's weird because all I'm doing is backing my team. I'm proud of how we've done this season. We've thrown a team together, particularly in the summer, and then added to it again in January. We've had some ridiculous injury crisis. We've had a ridiculous injury crisis, and I've already spoken about prior to that on this channel. We were talking about how we lacked squad depth as a side. I think our best 11 matches up anybody in the division, but I think our squad lacked depth. I think we've rectified that a little bit, but there's still chinks in our armour. The right back position has not been filled. We've not replaced Harry Souttar, and I know some Sheffield United fans will come back at me with Jack Robinson, and that's not a road I'm going to go down tonight. But there are quirks to our side. I don't think we've got a legit right winger. So there's different ways of looking at it, but I'm confident going into every game that we've got enough to get a result. And it's a good position. Leeds fans will be exactly the same. You won't be going into any game thinking we're going to get turned over here. You can't think like that. And Burnley might feel the same now after their recent run. So we should back our teams. We should be confident in what we can do. We've all been very strong sides in the division this season, so there's nothing wrong with thinking you're going to go well, because I think we will. And there's obviously the danger we'll lose.
I think naturally we're a bit more trepidatious than you lot. I think we are. I think we're all a little bit more nervous.
You weren't 3 games ago though, were you? 4 games ago.
Well, no, that's how football works, isn't it?
And obviously, look at what's happened to Leeds in the past in these positions as well. That's understandably why you might be a little bit more cautious as well.
Do you think that affects the team, Conor?
It
certainly affects the fan base, and I understand that. But do you think it affects the team?
No, it's a good question. It's whether or not, because we know they have social media. We know they'll be very well aware of the rhetoric. I mean, that's just fact. I think right now it's just it's experience in these situations. I'm hoping because they've got another year older. A lot of them have experienced this before. Not only that, but you've got players in there like Joe Rothwell, who obviously went up with Southampton last season, was a decent part of their second campaign as well. The pressure doesn't seem to get to Rothwell whatsoever, which is going to be interesting actually, because to facilitate Nonto in the 10, it felt like what Daniel Farke was saying was he needs a defensive body in there to basically, almost have like a bit of a sturdier rear guard. I didn't agree with that at all. How I think Leeds, when Leeds are at their best, is when they're attacking football games. I don't like us when we kind of go into a conservative, mid to low block. Not like we do a lot, but if you're protecting something, I think Gruev and
Tanaka sort of leans itself towards that, doesn't it? Certainly Gruev and Ampadu would. So
Yeah. But then it's interesting, actually, because then people saying you two will have it with your teams as well. I know there's been sent, obviously, I keep a little bit more of an eye on Sheffield United because me and Jim do this a lot. But with regards to like their defensive pivot, when you had like Chowdhury and when you had like Siddy Peck in there, that just didn't work whatsoever, did it? But then you kind of fluctuate that. You've got to have a balance in that double pivot, but you've got to have as well players who, you know, give you sort of those 5-10 yards as well, drive through the midfield a little bit. And it's a lot, you know, our managers have got to get it right. I think what I'd say about Sheffield is, you know, the likes of Siddy Peck naturally wouldn't have got a chance this season if it wasn't for our blaster. Or he might have got a chance, but he wouldn't have got as big a chance as he's got. You know, there's an argument now that he's actually, by the way, ahead of our blaster when he gets back fit and firing. I think Peck's been that good. So yeah, I think a lot of it is down to, isn't it, when players are injured and then certain individuals get chances. I think that's just always how it's been in football. But rotation right now, utilising players. But lads, we've all got to absolutely hope and pray. Obviously not for one another. Got to hope and pray one of the big boys don't go down. You know, Brownhill goes down. You know, I don't know. Tyrese Campbell goes down. You get like Joe Rodon going down for us. It's a problem. It's a big problem. So
it is. It's finally balanced, isn't it, for all three of us? You can see vulnerabilities. You can certainly see strengths, particularly in the other two. I'm looking at you two and thinking, oh well, he's very good, and I expect him to pick up form now. You'll probably look at Sheffield United, and you know I've see strengths in our side as well that I'm a little bit wavering on. So it's a nervous time overall, but we've got to enjoy it. This is brilliant. Next season, two of us are going to be miserable, guaranteed. We'll have lost 15, 50. Yeah, could be three. Could be all three of us. We could be sat here this time in 12 months' time saying, can you remember when we were moaning about the form in the Championship? Well, we're all in bottom three now, and we're destined to go back there. So it's trying to enjoy it while we're here, because it's brilliant. I love the Championship. I absolutely love it for entertainment. Yes, and we've had a conversation about this on one of the shows we've done, so we won't go down into it. But the entertainment of the Championship is brilliant. We know we have to get to the Premier League to keep the club progressing at each individual club. But the Championship is brilliant. And like you say, anybody can beat anybody. Conor, you're saying you're going to win next 4 games. I agree. I think that's probably most likely. Not guaranteed. Not guaranteed by any means. Who'd have thought Portsmouth would have turned you over? I know you were nervous for it. I didn't think they'd turn up and beat you. So it's really interesting. And that's why we love it. That's why we love the league.
It's weird with Leeds. You can almost pinpoint the ones that are going to be a little bit nervy. You can almost pinpoint them.
You're not looking forward to Luton, are you?
No, not at all. Luton, QPR, Portsmouth. I think we did something with Luton, didn't we? We spoke about it. I said about Luton. You boys went, you'll come through that one.
We played them recently, mate, and they were dreadful. I know you're trying to relate it to Leeds and how it's a Leeds thing, and you look at how Leeds will struggle in them sort of games, but they were genuinely the worst team I've seen at the Turf this season. They were dreadful. It helped. All right, fair enough. Just to caveat that with, they got a man sent off in that game, but still, they were awful, mate. They had no idea how to press, no idea how to defend. You can see why they are where they are.
Yeah. No, I get that. I get that. But what I just think it's, I think it's, we can say, I think we're going to win our next 4 home games, but then I can also come back and say there's games that I'm really nervous about. Whereas I don't know, I feel like there's some confidence coming from you boys. Definitely confidence going into it, which is a good place to be. I think. Obviously, I am confident, but I'm definitely a bit nervier with what we've seen the last 4 games. It's gone under our season average, so it's.
I think for me, it's not confidence. It's just we're the hunters. We're not being hunted. Like it's a good place to be in terms of nerves. Like, I'm looking at you guys thinking, how can we get there? Whereas I'm not looking over my shoulder thinking, oh God, I hope this team doesn't catch us. I think that's why I'm not nervous. I'm like kind of expecting now in a way to finish 3rd. I know I've said recently a lot that I do think we'll finish 2nd, but that was before Blades won at QPR, and that was before they beat Sheffield Wednesday. They just keep winning, and if Blades just keep winning, there's nothing we can do. So I'm not nervous as such, because I think I'm confident that we'll do it. I still think it's 50-50 now between us and Blades, to be honest with you. But it's just a good place to be in terms of nerves when you're 3rd and looking up rather than looking down.
I think you're as good as each other as well. I can't split you. My perspective, I just can't split you as 2 teams. Coventry will falter in the next 2 games and won't be as strong. 2 teams will be pulling away after the next 4 or 5 games. I can't see Burnley not going up. Yes, we mentioned that with Sam. Brett the Blade has said, quick question. How many new players do you need if you get promoted? Spoke a lot of Leeds fans, and they seem so confident that all you need is. It's just not. That's not true, is it? It's just not true, mate. That is not. It's completely false.
I've been saying he spoke to Leeds fans, and they've said that all you need is a new keeper. And what the league's probably very strong.
Brett, you've spoke to Leeds fans, and they've said we need a new keeper, and we'll walk the Premier League. Okay, go on, Jim. What are you about to say?
No, I was just clarifying that's what he said, because I think you were going to turn it on Brett and say he's lying, however. But he said he spoke to Leeds fans about it, and that's where it came from. I don't think it's a quick question though, Brett. To be fair, and shout out to Brett, he's one of our ramblers. But he
makes sense.
We need
makes a lot of sense. That
we need loads, and all three of us need loads of reinforcements.
Yeah,
a lot of money spending on it. You're talking 100 million at least minimum. Each squad. I think I can't speak for Burnley. I think that Burnley will need similar to us, but I think we need at least 150 million quid spending on us. So there's a lot of. The gap is huge, and we talk about that in these upcoming videos that we've all done together on all three channels. So yeah, have a tune into that. But it's not a quick question, Brett, to be fair, pal. And we'll be talking about it all summer, won't we? Probably all three of us together and individually on his own channels about what we need, depending on what league we're in as well. So
yeah, I think we mentioned it several times. I think every squad. I've been on a One Leeds video 2 days ago saying we'd probably need 150 to 200 million quid put in the squad. Yeah, still.
It doesn't even guarantee it though these days. Obviously, I know you've got to get the recruitment right. We spent upwards of 150 million last season, and we had the worst season that we've ever had in the Premier League.
Ipswich is a bad example because they needed to progress, didn't they? Obviously, in terms of their League One squad. What to Prem safe? There you go. So that's a bit of context. But Ipswich needed to spend the money, but they're coming down with a whimper now as well. Unfortunately, it looked like they were going to have a bit of a go at it. Liam Delap were a really strong signing for them.
Similar to Luton last year.
Yeah,
looking like they were going to have a go at it, and then ultimately just being just as bad as the rest.
Yeah, that's right.
We've said it though. I've definitely said it. I made a video. Jack from Talk Norwich City went and said that he's convinced. Shout out to Jack as well. Talk Norwich, brilliant channel. They've been on here a few times as well, but they've said he said there's just no chance. I think he actually referenced and he said there's you'll be rock bottom and there's no chance the three going up will stand any form of as I keep saying chance in the Premier League and the gap is too big now and.
It's just sad, isn't it? And a lot of people will agree with him. It's sad, that
there's a lot to it as well. There's a lot to what he's saying, to be fair.
Yeah, of course there is. Of course there is. Well, the evidence the last 2 seasons says that. And I know you try and push back on it, Conor, and as will we, but all three of us will try and push back on that narrative if we're promoted, because we want to be positive and we want to believe our team can stay up if we're promoted. But we all know the odds are against us to stay in the league because there is a huge gap. We were talking about it the other day. You look at the squads of Leicester, Ipswich, and Southampton. A lot of them getting our teams. So it's just where we are in terms of disparity in the leagues.
Yeah. I think we made this point on some of the videos that we're going to be releasing, but I think there's a lot of context. I think Luton went up, and Luton were quite unlucky. They were quite unlucky. Gave a right fist of it. As I've said before, Sheffield United going up in recent seasons, selling. And Jai and Sander Berger was just absolutely criminal. And you gave yourself no chance to your 2 best players. And you couldn't really do anything about it there, obviously. You look at, I've said before, Burnley and Southampton going up, trying to play out from the back. There's a lot of context to be. I think what irritates me is it's just this whole stuff of three are going up, 3 are coming down. And that's happened the season before. And I get that. But I just don't think there's that much context to it. It's almost like there's too much of a difference that we can't do anything. I don't.
It's lazy to say that as a blanket statement, but like you said, Jack gave his reasons for it as well, and I think he's not daft. I watched TNT myself.
No, I'm not on about Jack. I'm not about Jack. Okay. I'm talking about the general consensus. No, Jack wasn't. Yeah, Jack definitely wasn't saying that. He was. Well, a lot of what he was saying made a lot of sense between.
Yeah, you don't mind that though if there's a bit of context here, and they're giving the reasons for it, because you could just as easily do a video on one Leeds saying why you think Leeds have got every chance of staying up next season. So that's what this whole thing is about. We love it, don't we? Because it's a game of opinions. and we
Yeah.
welcome everybody's different opinions, and if that is the general narrative of 90% of the viewing public, how good will it be if you're able to survive in the Premier League? How euphoric would it be? Because everybody's counted you out before you've even kicked a ball. So it's another challenge on top of everything else that you've got to face, I think.
To be fair, I do think it's a stage now where it is getting obviously increasingly more difficult. But I do think Conor makes a point on another video that we've said and stuff where you need a bigger metric. You want it to be 4 or 5. I think you said even 6 years. I think if it happens again next year, I think we can, in my opinion, categorically say the gap is now too big, especially if Leeds go in there and have backers like 49ers and Red Bull and spend a lot of money at it and still go down. Like we've said before, the problem is your Palaces, your West Hams, your Brentfords, your Bournemouths, they're all a lot stronger now. So it's not just the top 6, it's the middle teams as well. And that's where we'll struggle. And I'm just going to end it there as well, lads. I wanted to say bye to everybody. I need to shoot off now. I'm starting work. But thanks for inviting me, Conor.
Cheers, Joey.
Hopefully we'll be back next week. Cheers, lads.
See you, mate.
Grab to the podcast, everybody, and we'll see Joe soon, I'm sure. But yeah, I don't know, mate. I just think I don't want to go into if it does happen next season. I don't want to go into it. I think
no, it's too early, innit?
But the beauty of it is, I think we now have squads like Ipswich didn't have, like Luton haven't had. We've got squads still with serious assets who can definitely acclimatise to the Premier League. You kind of look at a lot of that Ipswich squad, a lot of that Luton squad, if we're just looking at those in context. And I think, there's questions there. I think right now, because we've been in the Premier League recently, if we go again, spend a lot of that money. Obviously, we've been stripped a little bit. You've had, we just mentioned 2 for you, haven't we, in very recent times, in Jai, Sanderberger. We've had the likes of, the whole lot stripped, really, when you look at Somerville, Rutter, Gray, Kamara, etc. But I do think there's a bit of a foundation there that if we then go up again after being in the Premier League recently and strengthening and getting all that sort of finance and riches as well, and then we strengthen again and spend 150, 200 million quid, and all 3 of us go down. With that context, Jack's absolutely on the money. If then that happens sort of again the season afterwards, if Leicester, Southampton and Ipswich, who already have reasonably strong squads, do the same thing as we do, spend 150 million, come back down again.
That's both the beauty and the downside to being a yo-yo club, though, isn't it? That's what we've been for the last few years, and that's the cycle that we're stuck in with teams like Leicester and Southampton. So we will Leeds more so than Sheffield United, because we've cycled out a lot of our old guard last season, and it was a big rebuild for us. And I know other teams have had their own circumstances, and I'm not saying poor Sheffield United by any means, but it's been an influx of new players for us, an awful lot. And we've had some finance to do that, but we've brought in more money than we've not. Leeds, I think, have settled their squad a little bit in terms of, going again with the same squad. And it's a high level obviously, we know this, we've talked about it, for this division. So you've got that foundation there as well. I think we've got a decent foundation. I think we need a little bit more work than you. But it's the same situation. You could flip it on its head and say, if we stay down, one of us stays down, for example, then Leicester and Ipswich and Southampton are going to come in and dominate the division, because that's what's fully expected to happen, because they've got those players in the middle that are too good for the Championship and not good enough for the Premier League. They'll have 1 or 2 Premier League stars. They'll have 1 or 2 players in their 11 that are probably Championship players, but the rest are those middle ground players that are above average, better than the champ, not good enough for the Prem. And over the season, like has happened with Leeds and like has happened with us and Burnley, to be fair, over the season, it hasn't for Luton, but it usually levels itself out. So, yeah, I think it's interesting, mate, isn't it? That's a bigger discussion, though, and I know we talk about it again on, it's some rate advertising for these videos we've got coming up on channels, isn't it? But these are the deep dives that we like to do, and because it's interesting, it's something that we don't even know if we're in the conversation about yet. So it's fun to do.
Just United says, loving the content, guys. Tight battles ahead on paper. Leeds has it easier, but any team can win in this league. Good luck, Leeds and Burnley. But I'm picking my Blades. I don't think there's a. I think. Yeah, you lot I don't see going away. And you lot I see being right there till the end. And yeah, I see it. I've said it. I see it going right to the end. I've said it on multiple things now. Right.
Who do you think wins the league, Con?
I'm going to back Leeds, but it's going to. But no, what I will give you credit. I think it's going to be almightily tight. I think honestly, I think it's going to go to the last day, and I think it could be we go up on goal difference, as in the title. I think it could be that close. I don't think it'll. I think there's going to be points dropped from both teams. Like this is why I won't get giddy after this weekend. I saw one Sheffield United fan on Twitter saying, "Would you take a draw?" And then I actually saw Callum Fowler doing it. Shout Callum, who I know has been on Jim's channel. Callum said he reckons it'll be a 2-2, but he said, if you're a Blades fan, would you take 2-2? And then he said at the
Callum
end,
Fowler don't know what he's on about.
but he said at the end it could be the playoff final, didn't he? But it's
he's a Barnsley fan. He only watches League One. Nobody's interested.
But I guess it is that we've spoke about West Brom, haven't we? We've spoke about West Brom, and we've spoken about them taking points off us, you, and Burnley now. Cov are now well in that conversation, aren't they? Especially with Hadji Wright being back, who's an absolute menace. Like him and Ellis Sims up top against Robinson and L's going to be a right battle.
I'm not sure whether Sims starts. I think from what I understand, it'll be Sakamoto, a front three of Sakamoto, Mason Clark, and Hadji Wright if they're going with a similar team to Sunderland. But Ellis Sims off the bench. This is what we're up against, isn't it?
Well, it's Gyökeres, isn't it? That Gyökeres and Hamer sellings enabled them to strengthen a little bit more across the squad, didn't they? So brought him in for 8 mil, I think, Ellis Sims.
8 or 9. Gustavo and Callum O'Hare against their former club as well. So
a few narratives there, definitely.
Let's hope so.
Niall says, evening lads, I think if Leeds can win all the 3 home games, even with a couple of draws away from home, they should have enough. I think the other 2 will drop enough points. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think we're going to have to win a lot. League winners, I think we have to win a lot. I don't know. I see 3rd place getting I just can't get
one of us is definitely dropping points, wasn't Burnley out? We were playing each other. Yeah. So.
Well, that's kind of what we're hanging on to, really. I think if we win our next 2, I think we could go on a bit of a run. That one of those runs again. But I think if we drop points against Luton, beat Swansea, which I can kind of see us doing. But if we drop points against Luton, I can see it just being a bit stodgy again.
Get the Judas's comment up in the chat, the last one that's gone on. Unbelievable. Friend of the channel.
Matt, I was about to message him when I direct messaged Jim Bob and I went, have you got Matt's number? So Matt, I'm going to get in touch, mate.
Unbelievable, Matt. Unbelievable.
Good lad.
He's just been on the ramble. Thank you to Matt for coming on. And he's just turned on me like that.
There you go. The only game I can see Leeds struggling is on the Sabuccio pitch at the Hoofball Merchants, Luton. I hope you enjoyed Dublin, Conor. Buy you a pint next time you're over. 8-1-2 to win playoffs. Yeah, cheers, mate. Top man, Dublin Blade. Liam says, our players were definitely tired before the international break, but weren't Blades managing players? That's a good point. Yeah, managing Blades through injury.
Yes.
Wilder.
It's a very good point.
Yeah, because obviously you were saying it, one about Campbell, about Hamer, about Vinny Souza as well.
Yes, but what he did differently was he took them out of the side.
Well, yeah.
So that's the difference. He doesn't just plow them through.
Yeah.
He either gives them 30 minutes at the end of the game or rests them completely. Yep. There's a chance we've got Vinny Souza back for this next game. Gus Hamer will hopefully be fit. Tyrese Campbell starts. He's managed it really well. We've been playing like Sam McCallum odd game instead of Harrison Burrows, so he just gets a rest. And you wouldn't do that with Junior Firpo. You wouldn't put Sam Byram in if Firpo was fit and firing. You wouldn't give him a break, I don't think. And you wouldn't rest Bogle, for example. It's a different way of doing it, and it's not. We're on the same points technically, if you take our -2 into consideration. So neither manager's doing it wrong. But it's a different way of doing it. And I just wonder if these last 8 games, if it's a sprint to the finish, are Leeds going to falter a little bit in terms of their fitness if they keep going with the same 12 players, if you like, 13 players.
And I wonder, is Gus Hamer going to keep holding that hamstring after every single game? I wonder about that. He's going to twang.
As long as his legs attached, mate, that's all I care about, because that's all he needs.
Mick says, let's hope you both not wear. We should do that, shouldn't we? We should both just wear a Burnley shirt if they win it. That's what we should do. It wouldn't be as bad. It wouldn't be as bad, but it wouldn't be as bad. John says,
Clazzers.
Can CCC can see CC. Geez, that's a mouthful. Doing a number on the Blazers Friday, and Jimmy having his shirt fitting in the coming weeks. John confident. David says, I've not met a Leeds supporter who doesn't believe we'll need at least 5 or 6. But that is why I sort of had to pull back on Brett the Blade there. Shout out to you, Brett. But
shout out to Brett.
Shout out to Brett. Honestly, mate, I don't know who this get this Leeds fan in the chat, mate. I want to see what he has to say about Leeds needing one player in the Premier League replaced. My God. Maury the Cop Blade says the price of promotion teams is go up for a season and come back down. I think the 3 will go down. We'll go straight back up.
Maury, he's doing our ramble on the road tomorrow. Thank you, Maury. Send us a selfie, pal, when you get a chance at the thumbnail. Thank you.
Send me a selfie as well, mate, when Hadji writes.
I'll send it on to Conor.
As he says, if Leeds get up, we'll stay up. I don't buy the nonsense about coming straight back down. Kev says, hey, people, has anybody seen the clip on social media of Japanese fans singing I Predict a Riot in a bar?
How do you know that's what they're singing? How do you know that?
I don't with some Japanese speakers in who are translating it. Matt says, Jimmy will beat Burnley next week too. Matt, get in the chat, mate. Who's going to be winning the league? Go on. There you stick your head above the parapet, mate. We have to do it every single episode.
He's the championship predictions man. You know that, don't you? So whatever he says, we have to go with, unless it's Leeds, and then we'll go back to him again.
I think he has said Leeds, but
I'm not. Well, let's just end the stream there then before he comments.
That's why I've got it on. Alessandro, honestly see both Leeds, Blades and Leeds 4 to 6 points clear of Burnley after the next 2. Reckon they. Yeah, I don't know. They're just a nuisance. They're a nightmare.
Not going away. They're not going away.
I see even with the tough games, it's like everyone keeps saying to me, "Oh, they're not going to win every game, Conor." I'm like, I know they're not, but I just see them. Even if they falter in a couple, get a couple of draws, I can genuinely, honestly, Jim, I can see them winning. And there's an argument. I know we've spoken about it. Obviously, there has to be context to it. If you are still above them, I do think they beat you. But I think you might still be. I think you'll still be ahead of them. So it doesn't matter. I know you said something similar, but I just don't see. Their last 8. I see them winning 5 or 6 of them, and they need to, obviously.
They do. They definitely do. But I know it's. Oh, hang on.
Super duper, Matt.
He probably doesn't know about our bet, does he? So
tune in towards the back end of last season, Matt. You'll enjoy it. Hopefully.
So I've just been. I know we've gone long and we're not going to go much longer, but I've just had a comment on one of the videos that we've done all together, me, you, and Joe, that says, "Question to all 3 of you: if you could make a team from all 3 clubs, would that team be good enough to stay in the Premier League?"
Right, go on. Let's be fair. Right, go on then.
So only Marcus Edwards gets in. Yeah.
So we'll go right. 4-4-2-3-1. Come on, let's get through this quick fire. We'll give you Cooper in next.
You definitely will give me Cooper in next. He's not here to argue.
No, and I'm being nice here. I do prefer Cooper though.
What did we say? We said Conor Roberts right back. Well, listen, we've just got to go with the general consensus.
Right, Jimmy wants Roberts. I can't believe that. Conor Roberts couldn't get into our team last year, by the way.
Nell and Esteve centre half.
Right, so we ain't got a Leeds player in yet. So
Harrison Burrows at left back.
This is true, is it right? I'm just doing this. I'm just gonna let you burn yourself out with Leeds fans.
No, go on, do it quick, because otherwise we'll be here ages. I ramble.
Okay, so this is ridiculous because you're not going to give me anyone, are you? You're not going to give me anyone in this team.
We're not going to. It's not going to be a rowy one. We ain't got time to argue about it.
Okay. Roberts, Esteve, Rodon, Firpo.
If I tell you what, if we disagree, let's put a Burnley player in. That's the way to go.
So still no players in. Still no Leeds players in then.
So Cooper starts. We know that.
Robert. Right. Okay, so straight away that back line doesn't stay up. Straight away.
No, it don't.
I don't think
it don't, does it? Even if you put Bogle in, because I know you're pipping for Bogle, he's not a Premier League right back.
Well, if you so let's say right now, hypothetically, and we'll flip it round. Roberts, Esteve, Rodon, Firpo. If you change that to Burrows, Anel, CJ Egan-Riley, and Bogle or whatever, Bogle,
no.
or Roberts, that doesn't stay up.
No, it don't.
So midfield, Tanaka in there.
We're strong in midfield. Vinny Souza and Tanaka, I think. We've got our blaster as a consideration. You really rate I know Rothwell's on loan, but you rate Ampadu
Ampadu.
as well, don't you? Which I think is, up to you.
Going forward, I don't know. Don't know.
Gustavo, Nonto. Well, Solomon's not there. Is he permanent? He'll probably go to Everton, like they're all saying.
Ramazani hopefully gets a few more minutes, and then he can show his class. But
Doesn't stay up, does it? Doesn't stay up to answer Martin's question.
Sorry, Martin. I think the midfield.
Well, that's a good reflection of where we are. I think in terms of you could pull all three squads, and we haven't got a Premier League squad. Ridiculous.
Madness, absolutely madness. Bjorn says, what does your girlfriend think about Jim Bob, Conor?
Oh, yes. Good question, Bjorn. Good question.
She hears him enough.
She's just bringing me a brew here now. Thanks. Thanks, Bob.
I don't know where she is, to be fair. I don't know if she's in.
Yeah, she's here. She's here. Hey, you're on stream. Come on.
You saying you've kidnapped my girlfriend? Is that what you've
No. Come on, Rihanna. No, put it back on. Put it back on.
I can't believe you just released the name. That was Brianna, by the way.
Yeah, sorry. You had my heart.
But
he didn't answer the question, though, did he, Bjorn? He didn't answer the question.
Yeah, what do you think of Jimmy? Bjorn's.
This is a bit awkward. It's a commenter's question, not Jimmy's question. Can we just be clear?
She says he seems like a nice man.
There you go. There you go.
See, I tell her all good things.
Don't worry, Con. I'm happily married.
Yeah, look at me.
Yeah.
Grit says, everyone say Sheffield United just see Jimmy up. Yeah, mate, everyone was going on about your face.
I've just done it as well.
Everyone was on about your face in that video I did. By the way, guys, we did a championship thing on the Conor McGilligan channel, if you want to check that afterwards.
Hey, everybody. It's me, Conor McGilligan.
I'm not taking the mick out of my channel. I've told you this.
We're all friends.
Cov will probably draw Friday, then Cov. Cov will probably draw Friday, then Cov v Burnley at a rocking CBS. The bigger team will win, obviously 2-0. What does PUSB mean?
Play up Sky Blues.
Okay, fair enough. Every neutral loves an underdog. Frank Lampard and his Coventry team could be the one who time their run just right and win at Wembley. Oh.
Can you imagine?
Rough.
Media would love that, wouldn't they? Frank Lampard winning at Wembley.
I'd hate that, Just oh god.
No, you would, particularly if they beat Leeds.
No, but I'd prefer Burnley going up. No offense, Cov fans, just because of him. Just that I don't mind Coventry at all. Just
not against Coventry, is it? It's against the manager.
It's just him.
Yeah.
Hey Conor, thought you had a personal runner passing you food and drink. Hey Conor, thought you had a personal runner passing you food and drink.
She's here. She's at mine. So
your missus is going to be listening to you going, "Oh,
no, she's not.
She's out."
Yeah, she is actually. She's got out.
The real Jim, MOT. Hey up, Big Con, hey mate. Right, mate. So let's get on to score predictions then this weekend. I don't think yet in our time of doing this, which has been nearly 5 months.
Nearly 5 months. I don't think you've had Sheffield United to do anything but win.
That's true. You can mimic me all you want, but you know it. Wait, so we'll go Burnley, Bristol City. And then
Bristol City, 1-1.
And then Leeds. We're not going that first, you nugget. You're playing first.
All right. 2-0 Blades.
2-0 clean sheet.
Yeah. Michael Cooper, mate.
Wow. 2-0.
Could be 2-1. I might give him 2-1, but I'm saying 2-0. I'm all right with
10
2-0.
wins in 12, and they're not scoring a goal.
I lost to Derby 2 weeks ago.
And they smashed Sunderland, which you couldn't do.
They did smash Sunderland, which you couldn't do either.
That's true. But we did beat them.
So did we.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, fair. So 2-0. Yeah.
More points than you. More wins than you.
I think you've lost more games as well.
You and your logic. You and your logic can get it bin.
Matt says, if Cov can take something off Blades and Burnley, will Leeds fan what? Yes, Matt. No, Matt. No. Clip it, yeah. Yeah, I deserve to be clipped there. I
love Frank Lampard.
Matt,
IDST.
No. Unfortunately, mate, no. Cov, no problem with Coventry at all. It's just him.
Sounds like you have. Don't go on his channel, Matt.
He's on my channel. Right, I'll go with just to keep it spicy, I'm going to go with a 1-1.
What, for Sheffield United Coventry?
Yeah, 1-1.
That's just because Matt's here and you want him on.
Partially.
Oh, Matt.
No. I do. I
Matt,
think
Matt, if you, I might be meeting Matt for a pint. We'll have a little bitch about you tomorrow
you
night.
don't drink.
A pint of water.
Oh Jesus. Burnley, Bristol City.
One apiece. One apiece. Go on, Ian. Go on, Alessandro. Alessandro.
Burnley won Bristol City too. That'd be one for the books. What do you say? Sorry.
One apiece.
Okay. Yeah, screw it. Good weekend for Leeds. 0-0. Why not? Why not? And then
Yeah, because I'm not realistic with these, am I? But you've got us both to drop points.
You just
could happen. Could happen. To be fair, could happen.
Yeah.
Go on, then you first. You first for Leeds. 5 or 6.
Boring 2-0. But I don't care. 2-0.
3-0. Swansea.
I do think if we lost to Swansea, that is
you deserve playoffs, don't you?
That's what. if we lost to Swansea,
yeah, if you lose to Swansea,
all the season goes out the window. Sheffield 2-1, Cove Leeds 5, Swansea 0, Burnley 0, Bristol City 0.
Leeds Dazza. There you go.
Joe Keane says flying over from Galway Island for the Swansea game this week. Oh mate, Joe, what a place!
My pretty little Galway girl.
Stay over there, mate. That's copyright. Right.
I'll
mute you. Right.
All right. Yeah, because YouTube will think I'm Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, same tones. Right, we'll leave it there, everybody. Make sure you check out Jim Bob's channel. He's just released a video as well. See, I would take the mick out of his video. I'll say go over to Jim Bob's channel.
Because you're on it.
Yeah, that's true. I did forget about that. Yeah, go over and check it out. Comment nice things about me. Big my ego up. And then you can check out my stuff. We did a bit of a who is the biggest club, which was actually, I watched it back earlier on.
It's a joke.
It was actually really funny, the video.
It's a good video, but you're outrageous. I don't often take part in clickbait videos, but you you lured me into that one.
Yeah.
Absolutely ludicrous. Outrageous shouts.
Max's Jumbo Squarehead.
Jumbo.
Jumbo Squarehead.
Just bring Mark's picture up again, please.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Just leave that there where it is.
Looks like your dad a bit.
I'm not even going to say it. I'm not going to say it, Mark.
Yeah, make sure you're liking the video, everybody. Listen, it is free on both streams as well to do it. Please make sure you do it. Look, we do this, and it really helps our streams and videos when you like it. You don't know how much it... Basically, YouTube essentially designed their algorithm based on likes and engagement. So please make sure you comment, like the video. It really helps. Head on over to my second channel, link in the description below. Head on over to Jim's. And, of course, don't forget Joe as well, who...
Give him the sympathy when they don't make it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's going to be releasing stuff as well. So
when did you mute my mic?
I was about to mute you then because I know what you're going to do at the end of the video, and I don't.
Oh, right, you don't like it. Up the blades, up the blades, up the blades.
You kept talking. I did not expect you to keep talking. Then I thought he was just going to come with a shouting. But yeah, guys, absolute pleasure, and we will listen. Look on the channel, look on Jim's, look on Joe's as well. We've got videos coming out literally probably throughout the next 2 or 3 weeks, really. So make sure you keep an eye on that. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Hold the blades.